Alright. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. It's our art day. It's very much our art day. Just getting set up here. Moving a little slow today, but not like that's anything new. Alright. Incense has been lit. Water cup is ready to go. Got our glue brush, our stylus, our scissors, our tweezers, just in case we need them. Alright. Got the ever-present fuzz that is everywhere. We're looking pretty good. Just making sure my stylus is as gunk free as we can get it. I don't want to remove the gunk that's too far down, because remember we had to glue the rod back in place, because it's, you know, it's just a dollar store stylus, but that's fine. It's still functionable. We fixed it. Not a big deal. We've got our glue. I think we still have enough glue for a little bit, but if we could just get the glue bottle open, then life would be grand. There we go. Our lid over there. We might need Zed's help today. We just might. Alright, Zed. You need to keep everything in place. Alright, sorry if there is a rattling noise in the background. It's a little warm in here. So you might see some wisps of smoke going through from the incense as well. Alright, so Project Peafowl. We're moving along. We're getting there. We have some plans for it for today. We'll see if we can keep those plans moving right along. We're gonna try. So I hope everybody's Sunday is going alright, or Monday, wherever you happen to be. Just trimming up a few pieces here real quick. Hopefully we're cutting them to the right size. We'll find out soon enough. Alright. So we're going to start to put in our next row of background feathers here. Remember, we're trying to we're trying to work in some smaller increments here. That might have been a little stingy on the glue. We'll see. See how that goes. Remember, you want to rinse your brush to get the glue out of it. Don't use a good brush. Like, don't use one that has bristles falling out of it if you can help it, but, you know, maybe use an older one that's not in the best condition for painting, but can handle this. That's always a pretty good idea. And we're gonna start to lay these guys in here. Well, that angle is probably a little steep on that one, but that should be alright. So I hope everybody's had, at the very least, an okay weekend. You know, we'll take what we can get. I mean, I really hope you had a better weekend, but, you know, as long as it was at least okay. We got a little downtime. For my service industry warriors that have to work on the weekend, I apologize. Hopefully people weren't too obnoxious. So service industry, I also lump in retail workers with that because you don't necessarily have the luxury of having the weekend off, and that sucks. I at least hope that you get a day off, and if you do get the luxury, it's sad that we think of having 2 days off as a luxury. At least I do. I hope that they are together for quite a number of years. While I was working at the craft store doing retail, my days off were split, which was not fun at all. I was working 5 days a week, but my days off were Tuesday and Thursday. Not fun in the slightest. Having to break my days off by coming in. That always kind of burned my ass. I'm like, really? I can't have 2 days off in a row. That seems kind of ridiculous. But that's what the schedule was. And it was either bitch about it and get fired, walk out, to potentially worse things. Oh my god, I cannot hold on to this. Or suck it up and deal with it. The worst time, like, I mean, I made do. It still sucked because I was always exhausted. And it felt like I didn't really have a day off. But the most worst part was when I had grand jury duty. And those that have served on grand jury, you know. I had to serve, my day was the first day of grand jury for the week. There was like 3 days a week that they were doing grand jury. My day was day 1. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, hey, you know, you got out of work that day. That's cool. No, it really wasn't. Apparently day 1 of grand jury was a lot of the drug cases and financial cases where like bad checks and that kind of thing. It's not that it wasn't interesting. It's that apparently, according to the judge and that we had, And some of the lawyers or the district attorneys or whatever that were bringing this stuff into us, day one is notorious for people canceling. So, and when we were in grand jury selection room, there was a shit ton of people there, and I'm like, this is an awful lot of people. We were like in almost a classroom type setting. It was bizarre. And judge goes, all right, look, it's grand jury. You're not deciding guilt or innocence. You're just deciding if there's enough to go to trial. I don't care who you know. You're not getting out of this. The only reason that you'd be getting out of this is some kind of humongous medical emergency, and the only thing that we'll be willing to do is change the day that you're on, if the day that you're on is that big of a problem. And I'm just like, fuck, because, you know, I had I've had family in and out of the judicial system. My sister, my who disowned me, sister, was a court reporter. Her now ex-husband, I think at the time was her fiance or her boyfriend, was a cop. My brother at the time, other half brother, was a cop. So I'm like, okay. So, had to go through with it. It was on my one day off. For the entirety of summer. Like I think it finished up towards the end of August. And I'm like, really? I had literally one day off where I didn't have to do anything. The entire summer. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And my day, now I didn't have a car, so I'd be getting dropped off by somebody at the courthouse, and then I'd have to call them and tell them to come pick me up. When we were done, there were days where we sat there, had to be up at, effing crack of dawn, get there, be presentable. You had to hurry up and wait. Because, then the cops and the witnesses and the lawyers and everybody had to get their shit together, and sometimes witnesses didn't always make it because they had other obligations that they had to deal with, and so we'd be sitting there waiting for somebody's witness to show up. Kid you not. They kept delaying, and then they're like, they're not gonna make it, and the judge looked at us, he's like, I'm just gonna send you guys to lunch early, because it was like 11, and I'm like, oh goody, we're gonna go to lunch early, and I can't leave here. There was a cafeteria in the building, but we always had to wear our juror badge thingies so that nobody talked about anything near us. I would try to go outside and find some kind of quiet corner away from people, just so I didn't have to sit inside around all of the peoples and things and be a little bundle of anxiety. And I always hated when they sent us early, because the one person that I knew personally that was also doing the same stint of grand jury was on a different day, so I couldn't even hang out with them for a little bit in between stuff. So I'm like, okay. So then we came back. We went to lunch at 11 instead of 12. We came back. We had a case at 2. That was the next case, was 2 o'clock. We had to sit there in the courtroom, in the jury box, waiting until 2. Basically reading or twiddling our thumbs or something. 1:30 rolled around. Lawyer's like, yeah, they canceled. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you're holding us hostage for these goddamn witnesses that aren't showing up. It was terrible. It was terrible. And yet, on the family court, the family court grand jury day, According to my friend who was on that day, she said they were non-stop from the second they walked in till, like, they were going till like 5 o'clock. I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, we have nothing to do. We're sitting there staring at the ceiling. Like, and then, because it was my day off and I took the payment, I took the payment, the little stupid card. Like, I didn't have an employer to turn it into for that day because it was my day off, so I got to keep the money. I had to pay taxes on it. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I had to claim it on my taxes. I was like, this is why nobody wants to do this. This is terrible. This is why so many people try to get out of this. The system sucks. I did have to serve on a jury another time. This one, I worked nights for this one. It was in the same city that I worked in, so I was able to get there and get home. Still a little anxiety-inducing, but I was able to do it on my own. Because the buses ran a little bit better there. But, damn. We spent 3 days, my sleep schedule was fucked. I had to collect my cards for my employer for that one. But, holy hell. It was a car accident, right? And we were trying to decide if the lady that was suing this kid was actually injured from this car accident. As a whole, there were some other casino workers on our jury who were used to sleeping during the day. It was extremely difficult to stay awake because what they were talking about was just not interesting, and when you're used to being asleep in daylight hours and trying to sit through somebody drone on about something boring, it's hard enough to stay awake, let alone when that's your normal sleeping time. So it was a little rough. One person on our jury was actually snoring in the jury box when we were in the courtroom. That was fun. I was like, oh, please don't make us have to start this whole thing over again, because no. And I don't know what changed, but when we finally were allowed to go back and deliberate, all of us were just so done with this case. We're like, the fuck? So, we were all like, no. We were actually, I kid you not, trying to figure out how much a bottle of, like, Aleve would cost, and then how much, like, a year's supply of it would be, and that's what we were gonna award her. And I guess, like, the looks on our faces when we walked out were concerning to the lawyers. And I don't know whose lawyers were more concerned, or if they were both equally concerned that their client was fucked. Because while we were sitting there doing long math on a piece of paper, I kid you not, we were sitting there in the middle of doing math by hand on a piece of paper. Judge walks in and is like, they've decided to settle. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No, you did not make me stay up this many days and shit for this. Like, no, we're making a decision on this case. He's like, they've already settled. We'd like to thank you for your service. And I'm like, the hell? And he's like, just out of curiosity, what were you gonna do? Because it looked like you guys had made a decision. And we told him, and the look on his face, it was like, okay. So I was like, I can't remember if he laughed or something, and I'm just like, all right then. So, like, we can leave now, we're good. I can go home and like, crash into a pile and maybe make it to work tonight. Oh, it was amazing that everybody on that jury was just so done with the bullshit, because we really thought she was putting putting on a show. She might not have been, but it really seemed like she was. She really did seem like she was kind of exaggerating what was going on. She was trying to say her shoulders were fucked up and she had gotten TMJ, and we're like, okay. And then there were witnesses saying they saw her at birthday parties in a swimming pool holding up her niece or her granddaughter up above her head and playing with her, and I'm like, you can't do that if your shoulders are fucked. So either you were on some really good painkillers, in which case I would really question as to whether or not you should be in a pool, let alone holding an infant. And if I was the parent of that kid, I would be strictly upset that you were holding that kid in that way. If you were on painkillers, the whole thing was a little weird, so we're like, yeah, I don't know about this. But something must have bled through for somebody to get spooked and decide to settle with the kid and the insurance company, because it was like a rear end accident or something, and I'm just like, really? Alright. You're not gonna like our answer, but okay. And one other time I was called for jury duty, but I wasn't selected. Like, I didn't even, like, I wasn't really dismissed. They just didn't get to pulling my name yet, and the next day when we had to call in, they're like, oh, we have everything we need, you guys are dismissed from service. And I'm like, okay. Now, I did get called for jury duty after I moved out of state. My dad's like, you've got a jury duty thing here. I was like, well, I don't live there no more, and I'm like X hundreds of miles away, so that ain't happening. So he ended up calling the courthouse and was like, yeah, she don't live in this state anymore. And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, just ignore it then. We'll put a note in the computer. And I'm like, well, damn right I'm ignoring it, because the only way I'm showing up for that is if you pay for my travel expenses. Be damned if I'm gonna travel 3 days by car to get back up to New Jersey for that shit. I was called once for jury duty down here. Jury duty is very different from state to state, let me tell you. Apparently down here, you're on call for a month. And, just because you serve on one case doesn't necessarily mean they're done with you. They can use you that entire month for multiple cases, which surprised the shit out of me. And I was like, oh God, are you serious? Like, what is this? I did not like that. I never got called though. Like, they never called saying to report. So I was like, okay, that's fine with me. And so that was an experience that I did not want to repeat. Because it would have required going down into Fayetteville and, you know, me having money on me to eat and whatnot, and I am not familiar with Fayetteville. We're not down that end. We're never down there. I don't really know where things are and all that. Like, we know where the courthouse is, but that's about the extent of my knowledge down there. And I don't think I remember how to get there from here. I mean, I could probably figure it out if I absolutely had to, but did not enjoy that. Alright. So, I gotta ask something. Maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe it's a small town mentality that people take on. I don't understand this. Where I grew up, you locked your doors. You locked your cars. You locked up your items. You did not just leave your bikes laying in the driveway. You chained them up, or you put them in a garage or a storage shed or something. You secured your property, okay? For some reason, and this baffles the shit out of me, people down here in this town, that's like a foreign concept to them. Like, it's a huge fucking deal and a major inconvenience that they have to lock their car when they get out of it, or that they have to put a chain on their bike and lock it up. Like, what? Now, I'm nervous that somebody's going to steal the flamingos out of our yard. Just mainly because I don't have the money to replace them. But, they weren't that expensive. But for me, it's more of the punk kids are going to walk by when they're coming home from school and just yoink one right out of the planter box. That hasn't happened yet. Probably because there's a lot of cars and stuff, and you never know when we're coming outside. And there's always a car in the driveway normally. And even then, you don't know if somebody's home. But, like, people are like, so-and-so stole something right off my porch. I had to lock my car because people have been going through my car, and the car's not running right now, and there's nothing in it, but they were in there because the door was open, and I know that door was shut, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't you lock your vehicle? Like, it just, I don't understand. And people are like, oh yeah, this town used to be great, and now everybody wanted the town to grow. Well, this is what you have to deal with now that the town's growing. And I'm like, what is this, like, Barney Fife mentality, like, Mayberry mentality that you don't need to lock your doors? What? Maybe I'm just paranoid from where I grew up, and it's just how we grew up. But I don't understand. Like, come again? Like, for me, if you don't lock your car and it has the ability to lock, then, you know, I mean, it doesn't make it right that people are stealing or going through your shit, but, you know, hard times have happened, and people are turning to not so upstanding methods of trying to get by, or maybe it's just troublemaking kids that nobody's keeping an eye on. I don't know, but, like, what? People were, like, all about, oh, I got cameras, you need to get a camera, and then I saw another post this morning about the same kind of thing, except this one said, to whoever stole the turkey out of my yard, I have you on camera, I'm giving you a couple of days to put it back. If it's not back soon, you're going to be getting a knock on your door. And so apparently they know who it is. And I'm just like, oh dear. I mean, like, I know kids are going to do, like, pranky shit, but what? I don't know. Just like, guys, lock your damn doors instead of bitching about it. Like, I mean, yeah, they shouldn't be stealing stuff, but file a police report and then lock your damn doors. Like, I don't know if, like, do you have grounds? I mean, I guess you have grounds because they came on your property, but lock your damn doors. And people are like, oh, I moved from so-and-so to come here to get away from this shit. And I'm like, no town's immune from this shit. They just don't talk about it. That's all it is. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, Russell and I grew up in very different area of the country. And I don't even think the area that he grew up in was the non-lock your door type of area. Like, because we both grew up in the northeast part of the country. So I don't know. This whole weird mentality is something new to me. Alright. Let's get this one moved in. So we're got one section filled in for today. Like, I'm paranoid about the door being locked because our front door is a little janky sometimes. So I, like, triple check that before I go to bed. But I also sleep in the same room as our front door, so gotta make sure that shit's secure. I don't want any surprises. It's bad enough when one of my guard cats starts digging at the front door because there's a visitor outside that I have to get up and feed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Though I've been trying to preempt that lately. I don't know if he's just that hungry or he's just that much of a brat and is trying to steal that many meals, but he's been eating here like twice a day and waiting to be fed the second time. And I'm like, dude, I thought you had an owner. Like, what is happening? Why are you here? Like, somebody on Facebook said that you belonged to them because we were gonna try to trap you, take you to the pound. We were worried about you in this traffic, but somebody seems to think that you belong to them. Actually, a couple people thought that he belonged to them, which is not quite possible for the same cat to belong to that many people, but and then I saw a very strange post. People in this town are very odd. Where somebody was having a fucking meltdown because there were footprints on their car. And they were like, they seemed to think it was a cat. There's a lot of other wildlife around here that it could very well be. There's raccoons, there's possums. It doesn't necessarily mean it was a cat, but they seemed to be under the impression that it was. But they were like having a concerning meltdown over it, and I'm like, dude, I don't like these cats running loose any more than you do, but I don't know if you need to react quite this way. I mean, there's more than just cats that are gonna leave footprints on your car. Put a car cover on it if you're that worried about it. I mean, if you're worried about getting a scratch on it, you could get a scratch on it at the effing grocery store. So I think you're being a bit much. But if you're that worried about your vehicle, maybe you should put a car cover over it or something. Or, you know, have a garage built or something. It just seemed a little much. Like, as if neighborhood wandering cats were gonna be the only thing that could possibly scratch this vehicle, and I'm just like, what? Like, I wouldn't let my cat wander anyway. I don't agree with so many people letting these cats just roam. There's wildlife around here. There's coyotes and stuff. Like, what? We have an occasional bear sighting, though. That's more few and far between, but they have happened. I would not, and the semis and all the heavy traffic and stuff, I would not let my animal just roam. But that's me. But I wouldn't be prepping my pitchfork and torch unless they know whose cat it is. I mean, but I mean, there are some outdoor cats around here that are working cats, that are barn cats, that I guess didn't want to stay where they were supposed to be. There is a shit ton of feral cats because people dump their cats and don't fix them. Which I don't agree with either. And then, you know, there's the people that come in from everywhere and dump their pets out here and outside city limits, and it's like, stop. You wanted the pet, you deal with the pet. Crazy. We had a camera outside. We might be putting it back outside soon. We will see. It's pens. We have a couple ideas for that camera. Maybe if finances turn around, we can try to get another one. That we can keep outside. Though nobody usually messes with our property, and I think it's because we're right on the main road. And there's a lot of traffic and a lot of witnesses. So it might be one saving grace to dealing with the loud traffic. It's gonna get down to 48 on Tuesday. Like, what is this shit? Like, seriously. 48. Supposed to have thunderstorms Tuesday morning, and then it's supposed to drop. I'm worried about my plants outside. Husband seems to think that we've got a little bit longer on leaving them out, but there's, I think, like, their ideal temperature. I didn't think they were supposed to get below 55, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright. So we're moving along. We're making some progress. Cut these guys a little long, it seems. Not dreadfully long, but a little bit. A little bit. Okay. Like, I feel like I'm cutting them too short, but no, we really do need them that short. Alright. They get a little bit harder to handle the smaller they get. Especially for my swollen fingers. So, we're a long ways from finishing this one. That much I can tell you. We probably have maybe probably another, I hate to say it, but it might be another 6 weeks on this project. This is going to be a long haul one. Just for the amount of time that we're able to spend streaming on it. If I get a day where we can do a longer stream, then we might be able to shorten that time frame a little bit, but this one is a little bit more involved. Is that? I don't know what that is. This looks like a thread. Except I haven't had any thread in that color, so I'm confused. Those are too tiny to use. Alright, so good time to check your implement, whatever you're using. Toothpick, paperclip, pen cap, whatever. Make sure there's not too much glue built up on there. And we'll dive back in with another section here. So, if you're new here, welcome. Pull up a chair. Get comfy. And I would say get ready to watch paint dry, but we're really watching glue dry. Sort of. I don't do music anymore. I did do Pretzel for a while, but they changed the app and then it got a little weird. And I don't have money to buy Pretzel Premium, and my VOD started getting muted, and I'm like, but I did all of the things that you wanted me to do. So, we just don't do music. It's not worth the headache to me. So, instead, I invite you to queue up whatever you want to listen to, and just put it on in the background down low. And you can use the power of your imagination and pretend it's me that's playing your favorite songs. As corny as that sounds, that's how we do things. So we don't get our asses DMCA'd. If those letters are in the right order. I'm a bit dyslexic, so I think those are in the right order. They may not be. Apologies if they're not. What you are actually a wee bit short for that particular spot, I think. And now you're a little bit, nope, you're definitely short now. I need that piece back. Hey, come back here. I thought he was gonna be too long. Apparently I'm mistaken. Alright, so you will get glue on your fingers. It's just gonna happen. So the glue we're using is just tacky glue, nothing fancy. I'm using Elaine's, not sponsored. It's just, you know, it was there, so I grabbed it. You might be able to get away with using Elmer's or like school glue. However, we're gonna put an asterisk next to that. Footnote time. You may need to let it set up a minute or two before you start trying to put your paper down into it. There is a little rock there under our sand. Why does it sound like the cars are driving through? Oh! It's raining.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Like, why does it sound like the cars are driving on a wet road?
That's weird. I didn't think we were supposed to get any rain until, like, Wednesday.
I saw something about thunderstorms on Tuesday.
There was a couple drips when I was driving earlier, but I just thought it was, you know, coincidental drips. Your eyes were getting wow.
It's like a pop-up shower over us.
Oh, it's still seriously raining.
We need the rain, though. We're starting to head into drought conditions.
Oh, come on, that's a yearly thing for us. Still, nice.
Well, I guess you're out of cutting the grass this afternoon.
That probably wasn't going to happen this afternoon anyhow.
Yeah, I was beginning to think like there was some kind of water main break outside. I'm like, why do I hear the traffic being quite so loud?
I think I'm actually going to step outside for a minute.
Surprise. Rain shower. Actually, I forget what the hell I was in the middle of talking about. That happens. Oh yeah, DMCA. So yeah, you know, whatever you want to listen to. For those that want to know what I'm listening to, you can feel free to DM me on Twitter at NewCBGN, or you could probably DM me over here. But
oh, you can say what you're listening to, you just can't play it.
Yeah, but if people want the full list, I mean, I can say what I'm listening to, but if people want the full list so that they can set up a similar list for what I may be listening to give them the full experience, feel free to DM me and I will get you that list. Has a lot of Linkin Park on it, just so you're aware. Alright. Oh, we need more paper. I actually need to see if I have more of this color, because I think I'm gonna need to twist some more paper soon. I think we're starting to get into needing more paper territory. Like, we still have a bit prepped. However, I'm not so sure how long what I have is going to hold out for. go. Alright. So we will be doing this section and this section. As you can see, I started to outline it. But, we're not there yet. I want to get our background in place before we start doing all that. Now that we have an idea, or now that I have an idea of how I want this to be laid out. So, a lot of what you see down at the moment was me trying to work out in my brain how this was gonna sit and how we wanted it to be. Got glue on the tips of my fingers, that's why I keep rubbing them. I'm like, ah, get off of me. You will get glue on you. If that's gonna be a problem, I just want to warn you right now. It's non-toxic glue. It'll come off with water, or you know, you can just rub your fingers and it'll get to a point where you can just pick it right off. Like it'll not beat up, but it'll roll up. All right. Lopping this in. Alright. So we're moving along here. Made a little bit of progress for the time that we've been working. We've got this almost got this section filled in around this particular like eye feather here. So we are definitely feeling good about where we're at. And I'm putting these little guys to the side for spots where we have a gap, or in the smaller sections where we're gonna need them. Now that one you're not going to see so well because it's kind of been enveloped by the glue. But the glue will dry clear, so we've got that going for us. Maybe about there. Sometimes my measurements are good, sometimes they're not. Sometimes if it's a little long, you can just kind of squish the little tail down in there that's hanging over. I can pick these guys up here. Oh.
The rain petered out and it got darker.
Really?
That's
There's a blip that kind of looks like a thunderstorm trying to form. But that is up near Salisal. No, not Salisal. I get them confused. Siloam Springs.
so near, but not too near.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get a piece of it. So. We may not. But we got a little bit of rain. Elephant ears will be happy outside. Alright, just cleaning off the excess glue from my fingers. Alright. So that piece kind of fell in a little strange. So we'll grab one of our smaller bits. And we'll just do that then. Okay. Let's see. So sometimes after you've rolled these, when you go to clip them to the size that you need, you might have to retighten their twist a little bit. Not a huge deal if it happens. I mean, it is paper that you're dealing with, so not that surprising, not a huge catastrophe. Depends on how cooperative your tissue paper is being. I find that the softer ones tend to hold their shape a bit better. The softer textured tissue paper. And I know a lot of people like softer textured. Yes, some tissue paper colors feel kind of soft and more pliable to your fingers, and some are like super crunchy, like doctor's office exam room cover the table crunchy. I personally enjoy the softer ones. My. Oh, it sounded like somebody was hydroplaning out there. I wish people would slow down. Especially on the wet road when we haven't had that much rain. I feel like I got a piece of fuzz touching my finger, but I don't see it. That was weird. Alright. So we've almost got this section completed. Almost. We need to get maybe one more little guy worked in over here. Alright. Now there is one spot here. Kind of bugging me, just wanted to grab that. Alright. So we've got those two rows done. Have our pile of little guys over here. we're about an hour in. Now's a good time to stretch and figure out life. Go grab a snack. Stretch the fingers, stretch the back, stretch the neck. Okay. Alright, so next row, we're going to need some of those little guys in here. We might actually need to make them a little bit smaller. Alright. Let's get this next section filled in here. This might be a little big in terms of the amount of glue that we're putting in. So I'm trying to not work in too big of chunks just so the glue doesn't dry on us. I mean, it's not a huge deal. If it does, we can just put more down, but I don't want to waste art supplies if we don't have to, because the supplies can be expensive, yo. Alright, remember, don't let the glue sit in your brush, and don't let your brush sit in the water, so you want to rinse that out and go ahead and blot that dry on a paper towel. I reuse my paper towels from weeks to week, or from week to week. I try to get as much use out of them as possible. Alright, now let's see here. Let's grab a couple of these guys. I'm thinking about there. Let's see how off is my measurement here. Not too terrible because we were able to wrap it around that one. Sorry, I had to check on my incense burner. It was smoking quite a lot all of a sudden. I'm like, did I just set my incense burner on fire? No, we're good. We're good. I'm just getting near the end of that stick, that's all. Alright, so a lot of these guys that we trimmed off of the other pieces, we can turn around and use in here. So we need to make sure that we're also watching our angles here, because we are starting to do that curve down, so just need to kind of keep an eye on that. All right. So this guy's a little big in here, but he's manageable. So he should be okay. We might need to stick another guy in there in that section. Alright. Let me grab more of these. Oh, ow. That was unpleasant. My neck just snapped in a not happy way, which is why we want to make sure that we're stretching things periodically so we don't move in a way that the body's not happy about. Ooh. It was very loud in my head. I know you guys didn't hear it, but I heard it internally, and ooh, that was unnerving. Don't fuck your kids up. Don't fuck your kids. Don't fuck your
Jesus Christ, Lana.
Don't fuck your neck up, kids. Oh. My brain today. Don't do that. Don't do any of it. No, I hurt my neck years ago. Be very protective of your neck, kids. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck the neck up. Because once you do that, forget it. It will never be the same. Absolutely not. All right. Get that smushed in there. We're gonna need some more paper in just a moment. That one's kind of like what we were gonna end up cutting off was not gonna be salvageable. Oh. Like, I've had absolute hell trying to find a pillow that my neck will tolerate. Absolute hell. And it's not fun. Like, just turning my head a certain way too quickly can be problematic. And I'm still not sure that the doctor that dealt with my neck issue didn't make things worse, because it was a workman's comp doctor, and the place was kind of sketchy, and he was kind of sketchy. I've never heard of somebody having a potential neck problem and x-rays not being done to make sure that there was nothing worse going on. And all he did was feel the back of my neck, and out of nowhere surprised the shit out of me and threw my head back into place because my head was all the way down on my shoulder. He's like, keep it there. And I just kind of looked at him dumbfounded. I'm like, if I could have fucking kept it there, it wouldn't have been on my shoulder to begin with.
Yeah, I still think New Jersey has a lot of quack doctors.
Didn't tell me what I actually did. Just threw my neck up, didn't put it in a brace or anything, and He's like, keep it there. You're out of work for 3 days. Here's some muscle relaxers. Go away. And I was like, what? It's a terrifying experience. Like, to this day, the husband can't touch certain spots on my back because it will piss my neck off. Nor is he allowed to touch my neck. So that's fun. So really, take care of your neck. All right. So, got a couple more spots in here that need a friend, it seems. Alright, couple more pieces here. This guy might be a little long. I'm gonna bend his tail a little bit just to get him in there. And let's see. Yeah, this guy's a little bit long too, but I think we can get him all down in there. That looks pretty good. All right. So, 2.5 rows in. Okay. So now we're gonna work on getting this section around that end. This one's gonna take a little more clipping, I think. Depends on how we do it. Alright. Let's do that. Okay. So we're going to take a couple of these guys here. Just want to make sure that we're definitely twisted here. Zuzu, no licking. No hot spots. Puppy likes to obsessively lick sometimes. Sometimes we have to remind him not to, or at least break his focus. Okay, let's see if we can get this in here. We may or may not be able to. We will try. Probably going to involve quite a lot of little guys and smooshing. Smooshing it on down in there. Alright. Now, since these are so small, you want to cut them carefully so that you don't A, cut yourself, and B, so that they don't go flying, which we know all about. Cutting the thing and then it goes flying off into oblivion, never to be seen again. Or 6 months from now, in another part of the house, because the cats found it and dragged it somewhere. That has also happened. Because dang it, cats. Why you gotta be all up into everything? Okay. This guy's a little bit bigger. So this section in here doesn't have to be spot on perfect. And it's probably going to be a little janky. But that's okay. We'll just do our best to get that put into place. If I can get it off my stylus. Did not want to let go. Alright. Like I said, there's a lot of Linkin Park on my playlist. We're listening to, I think, In the End at the moment. Well, I'm listening to it. I don't know what you guys are listening to. What are you guys listening to? What is some of the stuff that brings you music listening pleasure? This one's a little on the longer side, so we're gonna split this section in half. Before we dive in here. Alright. So we've got this one lone little guy here. I think we'll kind of try to smooch him in there. get our measurements here. Not precise measurements, but you know, just kind of eyeball it. And that is probably a little small. A little bit. Okay. Getting these guys tucked into here. There, I just kind of smushed that one in there. Felt like there was a little bit of a gap. I don't think there really was, but just kind of felt like it. Okay, so are you all doing any art projects? What are you guys working on? What's your favorite medium? Watercolor, acrylic, oil. I will say my only real experience with oil has been the Bob Ross stuff, and it's a little bit of a longer drying time on the Bob Ross stuff, I think, because of all the magic white and things, and it also depends on the surface. And I have to put mine in a container with air holes to keep the cat hair from landing on it, so I feel like that might extend the drying time a little bit. So I don't know how I feel about it. I've been curious about like the water mixable oils and stuff. However, a lot of people on like the traditional oil options out there, they use like this lavender brush cleaner. Lavender might be a trigger scent for me. So I'm really hesitant to even attempt that because oil paint's not cheap. Oil paint is a bit expensive. So, I've not really branched out into the other non-Bob Rossy side of the oil paints. As it is, the Bob Ross stuff, even though it is odorless paint thinner, it does still have a smell, and the paints have a smell too. So on my bad days, that can be a bit of a problem. But I'm just, I don't know if I can do the regular oil paints. I probably can't. So I tend to stick to mostly acrylic. I have some watercolors. I haven't really found my footing with them yet. I've tried a couple of things here and there with different tutorials off of YouTube. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about them yet. I think I need more playtime with them. I've done a little bit of gouache. A little bit. I kind of like it. It's a different animal, entirely. For me. It's alright. I have not tried watercolor pencils though. I tried to do a little bit of paint pouring, but I don't have like, I couldn't find the silicone and stuff, and I didn't use the Floetrol because Floetrol is expensive. So I was trying to do like the cheaper versions of it, and I just wasn't getting the cells that a lot of people do. I mean, it was interesting, but it also kind of looked like a huge mess, and it killed me with the amount of paint that I was wasting. So I don't know if I can do it, because just watching the paint pour off the sides, I was like, oh, it hurt my soul. Now I know that some people that do the paint pouring stuff have like wax paper down underneath, and they will let the drippings dry and make like jewelry and stuff out of that. But I just the fact that I see it, like, it's fine that and good that they make stuff with the runoff, but just the fact of watching it slide off the canvas, not used, it's a hard pill for me to swallow. Just not something I can do. Because to me, I'm just watching money pour down the drain. Maybe if finances were different. But right now, we're very much in waste nothing mode, so. Alright. Let's see, is this guy the right length here? I think he is. Alright. So again, this is just regular tissue paper. The stuff that comes in your gift bags and your gift boxes. It did come pre-colored. I did not paint this. I don't have that kind of time or that kind of patience, so. I mean, it would probably help me get the shade that I definitely want, and I've never actually tried to paint the tissue paper. I have a feeling that it would kind of disintegrate. I mean, it might work, but I don't know if I'd still be able to manipulate it the way I need to do this stuff after it was painted. I mean, we could always paint it after putting it down if we run out of pre-colored. That is an option. It is a little bit more of a pain in the ass to paint it after it's down though, because you've got all kinds of crevices and stuff to get the paint into. But you know, sometimes if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. I mean, now the tissue paper that I'm using, I did get off of Amazon. It was a multi-pack of tissue paper. There is a bit of a dye lot with it, so you can't just order it by the dye lot though. You get 10 sheets of 36 colors in the package. If you're gonna need something, if you're gonna need it for a project that you have to have that exact color for, and you're gonna end up needing more than 10 sheets of it, it's like this size sheet, like, you know, like 9 by 12 or something. I would strongly recommend just buying that specific color to make sure you have enough. Well, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Very much. I hope your day is going well, sir. Alright. Get some more measuring going here. Oh, did your prime drop? It doesn't, like, I'll see that, like, numbers have changed, but I don't see whose number it was that went away. I'd have to sit there and constantly compare lists of names, and, it's not like I can do anything about it anyway, so... And to be perfectly honest, Nisi don't have time for that. Not bad, and not bad is by nature good. Well, that's good. Yeah, Nisi really doesn't have time to sit there and compare lists and numbers and all that shit. She's very busy. Because I also do stuff for WoW challenges, and that takes a lot of time. I have to do prep for my WoW challenges stream on Wednesday, which takes a bit of time, because, you know, I have to level the characters to get them ready to be potentially leveled up on stream. I just dropped a piece of tissue paper and it's gone now. Okay. I thought it was right there and I could grab it, but that one apparently wanted to escape. But yeah, so I do write-ups for max level characters. I do holiday event write-ups on the website. I do social media stuff for them, so it's coming into busy time for the WoW Challenges crew. We've got all kinds of holiday events coming in, so it's a good time to start a WoW Challenges character over there, especially if you're doing a pacifist. Bloodthirsty's not so much, because you can't do any of the quests at the holiday events, but for irons and especially pacifists, just watch your proc skills. It's a good time. I'm not sure if there's a level requirement to do Brewfest, which starts tomorrow, but you know, you might be able to get up to the level that you need to head over there fairly quickly. Just kind of trying to figure out what size we need here. Let's try that. Alright, so this is... What were we at? We did 1, 2... This should be row 3 that we've completed today, I believe. So we're doing pretty good here. Motorcycle's going by. Sorry about that. Not much I can do. Like I said earlier, we live on like the main road that goes through town, so we get all of the traffic. As annoying as it is, and this house isn't very soundproof. It's a very old house. And you can hear like every conversation outside that's happening inside, and kind of vice versa. Alright. Yes, Brewfest starts tomorrow. Wowhead's been a little slow with updating their holiday event articles lately. They didn't update Harvest Festival. Not that there's a whole lot of updating for Harvest Festival, but that didn't happen till yesterday, so that went up a day late. Unless somebody just forgot about it. So I try to look at their article and see if they have anything listed for new for the current year. So depending on when they post their update, that will probably determine on when our Brewfest article goes up. Hello, other Dave. All of the Daves in here today. We've got Mist and we've got Hunter. So I hope everything is well. I am making a royal mess of my hands here. I'm gonna have to do a glue check here. Now this one's done. Alright, so we're gonna do a glue cleanup on the fingers real quick just to keep that to a minimum. It's just tacky glue, so you can just like roll your fingers together and rub your fingers together. It should roll right off, or at least, you know, roll up enough where you can scratch it off. Alright, and we're gonna do a Stylus check, or whatever tool you're using. Just kind of degunk that. Alright. Congrats on Pacifist. Congrats on Pacifist. Wasn't my Pacifist. It was Tiber's Pacifist and Ruse's Pacifist. Those were the two pacifists that we had ding. I had a Bloodthirsty. And in 5 more weeks, we'll have the mage. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. The mage is at 55. So hopefully we can get the mage there. So this week's Bloodthirsty... Well, this week's Wild Challenges stream, is going to be a little bit longer, I think. We're going to look at hold on, let me get my thoughts together here so I don't have a lovely misspeak like I did earlier. We're going to do 4 Bloodthirsties, and we're going to bring the Iron back out. Who's been on hiatus doing things and stuff. So, we'll be working on the Mage, Bloodthirsty, the Monk. We'll be hitting 50 on the, hopefully, we'll be hitting 50 on the Bloodthirsty Priest, the Holy Priest, and then the Holy Priest is gonna sit, because I need the Holy Priest for testing the moth skip when it comes onto live servers, and I don't know if we've gotten a release date yet for 9.1.5. If we have, I missed it. Wowhead's just been spewing information lately, so it's been hard to keep track of everything. But I don't think we have a release date for that yet. You've just been trying out a new route for your iron, and you went to the Northern first this time, but STV is a lot tougher. You went to Northern Baron first. Yeah, STV, I don't even bother. If you're gonna do STV, I would do it lower. And honestly, you don't really need to go to STV. STV and those trolls and the oh, what the hell are they called? Those, are they Defias that are in the beginning that you have to deal with the rebel camp and the stupid camp where you have to deal with everybody walking around? And yeah, I don't even. But with Brewfest starting on tomorrow, for me it's starting on Monday for us in the States. But with Brewfest starting tomorrow, there's going to be a couple of dailies that you can, well, there's going to be the ram riding daily that you can do. There's going to be the invasion daily that you don't have to participate in the invasion for. You can stay outside the area, and when the invasion finishes, you can run in and click the thing on the ground that has the daily exclamation point on it, which is the safer option in there. And there's a couple of other quests that take you out, and I think that's a good time to do your harvest festival, since you're going to be out and about anyway, doing all of the traveling for the other things and stuff. I mean, harvest festival's a quest, so it's not a huge deal, but you know, at least you can stock up on some free food off the table. That's one thing Bloodthirsties can do, is that you can stock up on the food there. But yeah, so Wednesday we'll be seeing the mage. We'll be hopefully hitting 50 on the priest and sitting her. We'll be working on the monk. We will also be seeing the DK for the first time in a long time. So the DK will be back into the mix. And next week we'll be bringing in the druid. Everybody's kind of around the same level on each other, so I don't know if I'm going to bring the druid back in yet. I might bring somebody in that's a little bit lower, maybe the warrior. I gotta look at what levels look like, because the DK is 29, the druid is 28. So that would put them at the same level if they survive in the mall. Or not in the mall, in Bastion. Which gives me great pause. It's hard enough having two in there, let alone like 5 levels apart, but I don't know if I really want 2 in there at the same level, basically. So I gotta think about that. But I also have a shaman that's level 24. I have a warrior that's level 20... level 19? Level 20. Something like that. And the demon hunter's 20. So... I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I know I don't want that many in the mall at the same time at the same level. So we have to think about some things. I haven't had time to work on any extras. But yeah. Azzy might be a good one to try to get a hold of in Discord and ask him what his leveling path is. He's been doing this for so long. Him, Stir, Zaya. It might be tough to get a hold of Azzy though. He doesn't always check in on the Discord. Fair might be able to help you a little bit with her leveling path. She does more pacifist than iron. But she might have some ideas for you too. But yeah, we're going to be bringing the iron back this week for Brewfest. At least, you know, checking it out, seeing what's happening. She's 50. I have not taken her into the mall yet. There's not a whole lot she can kill, and I honestly don't know any of the world quests. I hit 60 on my gatherer and jumped off and went back to my challengers. So, I don't know what to tell you about world quests that are doable. I would actually have to look at the list on the forums, because I don't know nothing about the world quests. I haven't done any of them on my regular characters. I'm always kind of hesitant to do world quests because I never know what's going to count as an account-wide quest, and with our code team being indisposed and unavailable right now to fix problems, I've been kind of hesitant to do that in case it counts as a world quest account-wide thingy on my Bloodthirsty. So, I might just see what kind of XP looks like on the iron at Brewfest and go from there. She'll definitely be doing Halloween trick-or-treating when Hollow's End rolls in. I think that rolls in the middle of October. We looked at that the other day. I just don't remember the exact date. But it's soon. Alright. I'm always nervous doing these cuts where I have to hold both ends because I'm afraid I'm gonna clip myself in the scissors. And I have every right to be afraid that that's gonna happen because I've done it before. Oh. Just Niecy things. Just Niecy things. Alright. So that is a little bit of a gap there. Let's see. Can we make that not quite so gappy? That's workable, I think. Kind of looks like it's overlapping from the other side. Alright, now remember, we're not gonna do this poofda head crown thingy yet. I want to get the background feather work in first, because I've got some supports that I want to lay on top. So I don't want them covered, and I really don't want to work around them. So we're gonna put in the green, the dark green first, and then we'll work on the little poofda hat. Alright. I really should stop moving my hand that way. It doesn't appreciate being turned in that direction. Still having some troubles with my hand. I probably always will. And it's sporadic as to when it's going to be a problem lately. I could go to put weight on my hand and it gets angry, and other times I do it and it's fine. So it's probably something ligaments, tendon wise, and that's just going to take time to fix itself. And we'll just keep icing it at night. You're up to 18. You want him...
10 for Beer Fest.
Want him...
Level 10 for Beer Fest.
But you're at 8. Is it supposed to be 8 or are you 18? Oh, you're 8. Okay, I'm sorry. It looked like it said, Looked like it said 8. Apologies. I was confused. I'm like, but I don't understand. Okay, I getcha. I gotcha now. Yeah, I felt so bad. I was trying to... Oh, no, it's okay. I'm a little bit dyslexic. I'm not gonna lie about that. So, I flipped numbers and I flipped letters. Something terrible. So, sometimes if I'm slow reading something, I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually reading it the correct way, or if I'm really confused, then I read it wrong, or something. But, no, you're fine. I felt so bad for Tiber. He dinged, and I'm like, shit! So I'm trying to get his write-up done. I think that's the fastest I've ever gotten a write-up done. I was trying to get done before the show, because I was like, I'm gonna have all of the show things to do. As soon as Lita gets the audio edited. And, because when Lita gets done with the audio and the MP3 and gets that uploaded to where that needs to go, then she gives that file to me, or the link to where the file goes, and then I have to do all of the things. So I'm exporting VODs, places, and scheduling YouTube, and setting up the post on the website, and putting all of the things in there, and then I have to make copies of everything that I've done and put it in a backup folder, and then I have to set up the podcast page and add the new additions in, and it takes me a couple of hours just to get the things done, because I'm a little bit slow. And so I was like, I want to get this done before the show, and I like just got it done. I just got the tweets done on his write-up just as we were going live. So I was like, oh, but because I was rushing and trying to get it done, I kept typing Sappy, S-A-P-P-Y, as Sabby, S-A-B-B-Y. So, I kept, I don't know why, I did not want that P to be in there and be doubled. My brain was like, nope, this is a B now, and I'm like, no, it has to be a P. And so I'm like rushing and trying to struggle with my own brain, and we got it done. I've done multiple write-ups in a day before. I just had not, because I just finished Harmless's write-up, like maybe an hour before that, and I had stepped away to go do something, and I came back, and I was like, oh, Tiber dinged. So, yeah, but, on my iron, I'm probably just gonna dick around and just do holiday stuff for a while. I'm not in a rush with her at all, so I'm more than okay with, you know, doing what little I can at Brewfest, because I don't level her off stream. I only level her with you guys. So, I'm not going to be logging in and doing the RAM stuff every day. I don't have that kind of patience. I just don't. I'm not going to lie about that. As it is, getting through, like, the elders and trick-or-treating for Hollow's End is quite a trial for me, because I don't like sitting there just flying from place to place to go somewhere for 2 seconds. It annoys me. But, with that one, I'm really not going to have a choice, because it's going to be that, or hoping that there's a world quest that we can do once a week. So I think I'd rather just take my chances with the holidays and just kind of do it that way. Which is fine with me. I'm, like I said, I'm not in a hurry with that one at all. She can't really kill anything. I really don't want to get into Shadowlands and have her just obliterated, so she hasn't been around that long though. She's not one of my older challengers, so I mean, I feel like she's kind of a ticking time bomb and it's gonna happen anyway, but and if it happens, it happens. I'm not really expecting her to make it to max. Really? The cat's that bored?
Nah, you were poking at things and moving around, and he's like, what's that?
Yeah, sometimes we put on, like, bird feeding cams for them on Russell's second monitor. We actually had to secure Russell's second monitor to his desk with zip ties because we forgot that we left a live cam running and went on a walk or something and came back and I couldn't open the door and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't open the door, and then once I finally managed to muscle my way in, I saw his monitor crashed on the floor behind the front door, and I'm like, what? And then we realized, oh, the cats attacked his monitor, or what, were trying to attack something on the monitor, and just threw it right off the desk. So so we're gonna have a little bit of overhang here into our feather crown hat thing. That's okay. We can deal with that. And the other night, there was some kind of possum on one of the cameras we were watching, eating a banana. And the cats really didn't seem to care. But yet, when there was nothing there, the fruit that they had hanging up on a string or something, they were like trying to attack. And I'm like, what? Cats. I tried to show you the possum and you're like, no. We don't care about that. Alright, get some more paper out here. I'm a little surprised he's that infatuated with what's happening. Although he doesn't seem to be there anymore, so I guess he got bored. At least I don't see him from my angle.
Yeah.
We might, at some point, do a live hermit crab cam. If we do that, it'll probably be on YouTube. Probably. But, I think we're gonna set the 50 gal tank up first, and that's gonna be a while. Until we can do that. It's gonna be a few months before we can scrape together the funding for that. But all of the crabs that Russell got for his birthday are alive and well. They survived their de-stress period. And they have been out and about and exploring and eating and things, so it won't be the most riveting camera, because sometimes they camouflage themselves, but they are there. Alright,
That's why we gotta get more of them.
yes, we do need to get more of them. I'm going to take a quick potty break, so take this time to get up and stretch. It's actually our hour stretch time. So stretch, go grab a snack, go get a potty. Whatever you need to do, I will be right back. thank you for your patience. I hope your potty break or snack break was enjoyable. All right. Pop the earbuds back in. Okay. So, we are, where are we? We're here. So, we need to clean up the tip of the glue bottle. Because you know, it's glue. It gets a little clogged from time to time. Alright. Put that off to the side. Alright, so we're going to continue with this section in here. And remember, our color key that we have painted on here is merely just a guideline or a suggestion of where the things are supposed to go. So we can adjust as needed. Just making sure my brush is good and dry. You don't want to bring a wet brush into the glue. It might, at least not sopping wet brush, it might cause some problems. Okay. Alright, remember, don't forget to clean your glue brush. It might not be the best brush in your collection, but that doesn't mean that we should let the glue dry in it. Then we'll have to destroy another brush later. But since this guy is already pretty banged up, we'll keep using him as long as we can. I've got a bunch of older brushes that we can put to work for when we need something of that design, that degree. Alright. Get these guys lined up in here. Okay. So how was everybody's weekend? Or the start of your week, whichever it happens to be. How's things going today? Dave the Hunter said his day was going pretty good. What about the rest of you? Everything cool? Just another day, no major problems. Our day's kind of status quo at the moment. Nothing too bad has happened yet. It is us, so I'm kind of like in the mindset of give it time. We still have plenty of day left to go. But, we're still dealing with an ongoing doggy emergency. Every time we think he's starting to maybe get a little bit better, something happens, and then he's not any better, and I think we're gonna have to try to get him back into the vet, maybe next month. They might need to do an x-ray. So we need to get the funding to have an x-ray. Because the vet we have to go to is not the cheap one. we have to go to the more pretentious, more expensive vet, unfortunately. Alright. And we still haven't heard much with Russell's disability application. It does look like the one level of investigation has been completed. And it looks like they're moving it on to the next stage. I don't know what that means. And I don't know how long the next stage is going to take. So we're still in a bit of limbo here. And the not knowing is not ideal. And we can't do anything else in that process until they finish the process they're in the middle of. But this is a very long and drawn out process. Because they took his application in March. So that's a thing. We've been just kind of hung out over a cliff since March, so. But hopefully we'll start to get some answers soon. One way or the other, any kind of answer at this point would be better than not knowing anything. Just so we can figure out our next steps. Alright. This guy dropped in here. So we're not doing too bad time-wise for the distance that we're covering here today. At least I don't think we are. Maybe about there. That was a little big. So let's grab those pieces that we just cut off. Because we're gonna need to tuck those into the gaps. Alright. We were kind of hoping to maybe get to the zoo again this fall. I don't know if we're gonna. I think we still have to make a reservation. And it's not the fact that we have to make a reservation. I'm okay with that under normal circumstances. But we can't always go. With Russell's anxiety, things are kind of need to be semi-spur of the moment, because we never know if he's going to be up to doing the things. So we can't just be like, hey, I'm feeling up to it, let's go. And unfortunately, things being what they are, it requires a little bit more of planning because it's a 2-hour ride for us to get to the zoo. It's not just a 15 minutes down the street. So, which sucks because their annual pass is totally worth it and would pay for itself in like 2 trips, and we would be there a lot more. Peabody, no. Leave my alone. Oh wait, no, that's not Peabody. Peabody's in the box. That's Little. I have my cats confused. We have 3 cats that almost look identical. Oh, well, you two can beat the shit out of each other. I don't care. We have one female that's older that that gets really upset when the other cats get in her face, and she was sitting in this box that's on the floor when I walked by when I came back in from going to the bathroom. So I thought she was still sitting in there, and she kind of has light colored feet, and Peabot has white feet, and Peabot can be a bit of a dick sometimes. So, and then we have the kitten that is just completely dark. She has like the same dark color that Peabody has on his back, but she has like no light anywhere on her. And for a second, from the angle I saw her at sitting outside this box, I thought it was Peabot, because I saw like the lighter feet, so I thought it was the older female sitting in the box getting upset and feeling trapped, and I thought we were about to have a problem, but it was just Peabody and the kitten doing cat things and starting trouble. Those two can start all the trouble they want. The kitten and Peabody can chase each other through the house. They can do cat wrestling. They can do whatever the hell I don't care. Kitten can hold her own. She gives it to the boys, so fine, whatever. She puts them in their place. The older female is just like, I'm invisible, don't see me. So we have to be a little bit more protective of her, because she will not give them shit back. But apparently they all like fighting over this box that we had gotten chips in from Sam's. Everybody thinks it's their box, and they're constantly fighting over it. But they're all going to be in for a rude awakening soon, because that box is kind of being a pain in the ass, and that might be going out soon on the recycling, because I keep tripping over it. And I'm tired of them fighting over it when I'm trying to sleep. Alright. You know, cat things. All of the cat things. Dog things are much easier to figure out, sometimes. Cat things, a little more complicated. Alright, well, we're almost done this section, because I'm getting glue everywhere. Can I squeeze? You're going to be a tight squeeze if I try to squish you in there. Alright, putting this piece in here. So don't forget, we do have quite a few magnets still available, painted following the Bob Ross tutorials on the Etsy shop. Still got a few of the 4x4 canvases. 2 of our tissue paper projects are also available on there. We've got the one that I did off stream, and that's gonna be the Desert Sunset. And then we also have the Bob Ross recreation in tissue paper up there for sale as well. This one may or may not end up on there. I have to see what it looks like when we're finished. If not, this might eventually end up on our walls. We still have a bunch of other stuff we need to get hung. We actually went and bought the right nails, and then we never hung the stuff. So we need to get around to doing that before some of it has an unfortunate end with cats and things. And just damage from storage. Alright, so we're gonna move to this section here. Sorry, I had to get an idea of where we were because we still have this one that we have to do. But I can't do these until we do this. So, had to reevaluate our direction at the moment. Yeah. We should be turning it that way to get our measuring moves here. Alright, stick those there because we may need them yet. Get this guy kind of shoved into position there. Alright, so I know our support structure of our white feathers isn't the straightest. They're a little jagged and stuff, but I feel like that kind of adds to things a bit. I'm okay with that being a little jagged, a little off. I feel like it gives it a little more life, gives it a little more thought that the feathers that are next to it may be overlapping and touching it. It's like it was in the scissor. Where did it go? Alright. Get you smushed into there. Sorry, I'm seeing a spot in there that is big enough that it's bugging the crap out of me, so we're just gonna fix it now. Because if I don't fix it now, I'm gonna be mad at myself. There. That's at least a little better. It's not quite so glaringly in my face. Okay. Now, grass on level 10. Fantastic. All ready for the festive brews tomorrow. Not sure what time it starts tomorrow. I feel like it starts at 10 a.m. server, So that could potentially be 10 a.m. Pacific. Some holidays don't start till like 2 in the afternoon for me. So not 100% sure. Alright. Now let's get this. Oh, that's gonna be a tight fit in there. Oh boy. Alright, well that's a little guy, so let's go ahead and do that. Now what is this? This is an iron? Is this a pacifist? What is this, Dave? I think you said, and I just don't remember. I've got terrible memory. There's so much crap rattling around in my brain. I have like a split-second memory sometimes, and then other stuff I can remember. Or like, it's the end of time. Anything goes, just no deaths. Okay. So you're doing your own little iron thing. Your own little challenge, not iron. Doing your own thing. Alright, let's get you squished in there, please. Thank you. Because I didn't quite cut you small enough. Alright. Best of luck with that one. I'm sure your leveling experience so far was very different with your upgraded internet. But with my luck, it is the only way. We will see. We will see. Maybe not. Maybe not. You might hit a new personal best. That's very possible. It's amazing the difference that laggy internet and non-laggy internet can make. Same with an older computer on a much older processor. Because on my old computer, I was lagging a good 2 to 3 seconds, it felt like, from the time I hit the spell till the time it went off, and I never knew if I was about to DC at the start of a fight. It always felt like I was going to. I'll tell you though, the lag in Tiergarde's sound in the past couple of days has been ridiculous. It was slowing gameplay down so bad, it was making me sleepy, and I was already tired to begin with, and felt like I was starting to drift, and I was like, what the hell? And it wasn't just me, so it was server side, because I asked, and people were like, oh my god, this is almost unplayable. Because there was lag looting, there was lag for the spells happening. I was running the monk, and I'd get my 3 stacks of Tiger Balm, I don't know, one of those, Tiger something. And I'd go to hit Blackout Kick, which is supposed to do an extra kick for each additional stack. So instead of doing one like roundy kick, it's supposed to do multiple. It was doing the base kick, and then almost 3-4 seconds later, the other 2 kicks were going off, and I was actually having the game text above my character saying your target is dead while the target was still standing in front of me fighting. And it wouldn't let me hit any other spells because it was saying, no, it's dead. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is happening? Like, it was crazy lag on Blizzard's end. And that was the first time I've ever had the game tell me, like, where it's been so bad that the game's like, there's nothing there for you to fight. And I'm like, bull to shit. Tell me what I'm looking at. So, it was crazy. Like, I almost gave up for the night, but I'm like, if I give up on this character tonight, I'm not gonna have time to go back and finish it later, because we've got a very tight schedule this weekend. So, tonight, after I do dishes and dinner, I have to sit down in WordPress. Everyone's favorite WordPress. I have to sit down in WordPress and start to get the bones of the Brewfest article sorted, because we're doing a new format again where we're separating, well, I just took it upon me to change the order that the challenges are listed in the holiday write-ups. So I have to do some shuffling around, and that might involve me shuffling some art around. I'm trying to get it so where we're as good to go as we can be for when Wowhead drops their update. So that way I don't have as much I need to muddle through to get the article pushed out. So that's probably going to take me... let's see, Brewfest is a little more extensive. Might take me about an hour tonight. And I still need to work on the mage for Wednesday. I didn't get very far last night. I got about 2.5, 3 bars might be generous. I don't fully remember. I know I didn't get far last night before I was tired. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. I was doing more scrolling through YouTube trying to find something to listen to that would keep my brain going than I was actually playing at one point, so I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done for today. But we still have quite a few bloodthirsties to get through for me to complete my mission. Don't know if we're gonna do it in time for X-Pack's end. I hope we can, but that will remain to be seen, because if I'm only doing a level a week so that we can have plenty of rested... You okay over there?
Yeah, sinus drink.
Oh, yeah, sinuses have been bad. Sinuses have been very, very bad. Did I... Oh, it's over here. Like, where did it go? I need new glasses. Alright. So we got that one done. Now... So... I think... What time are we at? I'm not as restricted on time, because our friend went back to Walmart because the other job wasn't working, and they wouldn't be able to work with him with his school hours that he was going to need. So he went back to Walmart while he's working on an extended part of his degree or something. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. It's some kind of extra certificate. For some kind of computer electrical stuff or something. So I don't have to stop by a certain time for him and Russell to do anything tonight, because he won't be home till late. So, here's what I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do this one and this one. And this one. that's where we're going next. So we're gonna need some more papers. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to twist some more paper here, because this isn't gonna be anywhere near enough to finish this project. At least, yeah, no, that's not gonna be enough to finish, so we need to twist some more. I think I should still have some more somewhere in my stash of paper. Somewhere. I think. I hope. I might have to cut some and hope the color difference isn't too much. Might have to look at that tonight. Alright. Okay. Tweezers. Okay. Alright. I need another bit of paper towel. And we're gonna clean off the top of our glue bottle. Alright, so let's hop back in here. Made a little bit of progress, not a shit ton. But this is a slow project. Definitely a labor of love, and I'm only working on this with you guys, so that's also why it's going a bit slower. We probably would have been either well done or at least well onto the body if I had been working on this off stream, but it's our chance to hang out with each other and just kind of chill and do the things and just hang out together for a little bit. Alright, so let's see about how we're gonna go here. Drop this guy in. For a second there, it looked like there wasn't a support on this side. It blended in with the glue that much. And I'm the one that put it there, and I'm like, I don't see it there. Good grief. Alright. So we've gotten that in there. Do 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 do. Alright. We kind of want to keep our angle on this as much as we can. Alright. Let's see. Well, that might be about right. Probably a little long. Alright. This one's probably going to be a little bit long, if we can even imagine that. I have no idea where that tiny little piece went, but okay. Found one over here that I didn't expect to be there. This stuff just kind of blends in, doesn't it? Alright. Put that in place. So we've definitely made some progress. I like to think we did. We're that many more rows closer to our end goal here, so any progress is good progress. All right. So let's see here. One, maybe there. All right. So these guys are a little bit thinner. So we're gonna need more of them. To fill the spot. As I've got glue bits all over my nails. Okay, let me grab these guys because we are going to need them. That's like a good spot for that one. And this one I think we'll tuck in right there because, you know, just like Bob says, needs a friend. Hopefully those two don't hate each other. Hopefully. Alright, let's go with this size for the next bit here. Got some stuck to the back of my hand. So it's not gonna be perfect in this section. There's gonna be a couple of gaps, and that's okay because when we come back in to work on this feather crown thing, technical terms here, super technical, Neesyisms, we can fill in any of the gaps that there may be at that time. Ow, that was my elbow. Elbow, desk, desk, elbow. Alright, so don't forget, you might have to push down on the paper that you've put in a section just to kind of sit it in there, because sometimes they'll pop up off of your surface. It's not unheard of. Sometimes some need a little extra help in realizing that they live there now. Okay, so now we need some super, super tiny guys. If I can grab them. That's a whole nother matter. Hopefully we can. Alright, I think maybe one more of these super tiny things that are like barely a wisp of suggestion. Okay. So there's that spot. Alright, we need to do a quick glue degunking of our implements here, our tool. Alright. So, I think we will do this one next. So I don't foresee us getting to our feather headpiece today. Because we do have to do our top edge, and we can't do the top edge until we do this top feather. So I think we'll do this section. And then we're gonna kinda have to do this next after that section, I think. Just so we can get this guy in place so we can figure out placement around him. And I can't do his supports until we get this section in here done. Trying to figure out if I want to do his headdress supports before we do his head, or like that's a question and a half, really. I don't know how I want to approach that necessarily. We'll see. We have to think about that. Figure out what kind of decision I'm gonna come to on that. That's a bit big to squeeze into there, but I'll tell you what. We'll take that little piece there. Just kinda, maybe he would have fit. Because now we've got that gappy boy there. So we'll need to see to that. Alright, we still should be in frame, I think. Looks like we are. Every so often I have like a panic moment of, fuck, am I in frame? probably need that big. Maybe. Alright. Just gonna kind of squish that down into place. Let's see, maybe about there. It's tough when they're twisted because then when you go to cut them, they kind of want to fling in whatever direction like the tension is on the twist, so kind of hesitant to cut that many that I don't have a grip on. Oh, this guy's a bit big. Oh no. Alright, I can kind of get him in there. This guy kind of squished into there. He looks like a good fit for that spot. So let's roll with it. Might as well. Okay. So let's get that slid into place. So these don't always want to slide in beautifully next to each other because I do have that texturedness going on the bottom because I wasn't sure if we were gonna need it. The original plan for this was some of the background was probably gonna shine through, but then that plan quickly fell apart because I was finally able to wrap my brain around what I wanted to do, and so we changed gears a little bit. And you're more than able, and you're more than allowed to change gears partway through a project if and when you see going in one direction's not going to work out the way you necessarily had thought it would. You're allowed to change what you're doing. It's more than okay. Absolutely. Because you never know if something's going to suddenly epiphany or light bulb in your head about, why am I doing it this way? It would look better this way. Or this way's not gonna work after all. What about if we try X? You're allowed to try X. Well, you're allowed to try Y and Z as well. It's your project. If you're not happy, change it until you are happy. Alright, so we need a couple little guys here. These guys worked in here. I think that was just a dog burping. Pretty sure Zuzu was just eating out of his food bowl. Oh. No. We keep their food bowl in our room because they're not allowed in the kitchen. Oh goodness, we got glue bits everywhere. Alright, so. A little after 6. Sorry, I'm just thinking here for a moment. I think we should be able to get this section in. So let's do that. Getting this worked in. Just making sure those other guys are fully seated. Alright, so we'll get that section in. Dry off our brush. Okay, I'm going to slide this up just a little bit. Okay, so we can see we're getting down near the corner. Let's see, where's my finger? Corner's like right there on the edge of the frame. So we're almost done this top area, and then we'll have the march down this side and fixing this monstrosity of a problem that was from when we were trying to figure out how we wanted things to go. Alright. Cut this guy. And then this guy will probably need it half too. Okay. So hope you guys can hear me a little bit better today. I changed where my mic is sitting for the art stream. So hopefully that's a little bit better. I know sometimes I dip quiet, especially when I'm working on stuff. Because I kind of default into a tone of talking to myself at times as I'm trying to work through what I want to do next, and I do apologize for that. I am trying to make an effort to talk a little bit louder. This piece is just being all kinds of all kinds of cranky. So we're gonna have a little bit of overlap onto our head here. That's fine. We will be fixing that when we come back and do the body. So not a big deal. And that was foreseen as going to happen. So we're cool. Very cool. It's all good. These guys over here being a little fussy about sitting down, but that's all right. We'll fix it in the end. Alright, so we need a couple more of these little super tiny guys. Well, I guess more than a couple, but we do need a few more. Let's get around this one section here. That one looks like that's going to be a good fit for there. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop that one in. Okay, I need you to not stick to the stylus, and I need you to stick to there. Okay? Okay. Alright. We will keep on going here. No, you need to stay put. So that's why you want to make sure you don't have too much glue buildup on your implement, whatever you are using. Because sometimes these guys would rather stick to that. Not all the time. But sometimes, you know, you will have to fuss with it a little bit. And get that back into place. So we need to start making these just a teeny bit longer. Not a huge amount, a little bit. So we're starting to move out of the super tiny spot. Alright, grab this guy because he tried to wander away. I think he might have stuck to my hand. Alright, we're actually going to need a few more of these. Kind of misjudged how many we were still going to need there. That's alright. Because we can fix it. Because we still have all of the tissue papers. We have quite a few more already prepped to go for when we need them. Alright. So those seem to be sitting happy there. Stick this guy. I'll stick him right in there. Okay. And then we've got one more. He's a little short, but that's alright. He's still useful. Maybe about yay big. Let's see. How wide is this? He's a little just a fraction big there. And his friend fits right into place. Alright, so maybe about there. Let's see. Alright. Can I get this guy tucked in here without making the gap bigger? That's the key. Okay. So I think after we finish up this section, we'll be calling it a day. I mean, we've done pretty good today, I think. I mean, we started out like over here, right? So we've made some ground. Or at least it feels like we have. So, next week's plan. Migraine permitting, of course. Because they are a thing here. We're going to do this feather next week. And I'm thinking that if we have time next week, so we're gonna do this one, right? Then we'll do the sets on either side of it. And then I think we'll do this section. So next week we might do this one and this one. We might do this one too. We'll do our supports here. If we have time, we'll do this one. We'll leave that one as our maybe. We won't put the little arms that are gonna hold him up yet. Well, we might. We might. We'll have to see about that. We'll see what kind of time we've got. We'll see what time looks like. But there's our tentative plans for next week. On this guy. So I think we just need to get that little tiny bit off. We'll hold on to that little nib. Put that in our drink lid for next time. Alright. Can already see potential problem spot in this section. So as soon as we get everybody in place here, it might not be a problem, it might just look like it is because of the glue. But we're gonna preemptively fill a possible gap here. I feel like I might just be seeing things, but it felt like there was a gap there. And I will try to get some more of this green, this dark green paper ready, because I think we're gonna need it. That I do. Alright, so that's all seated in there. So yeah, next week we'll do 1, 2, 3 eye feathers. We'll do our background green up around this one, around that one, up to here. And we'll try to get the green in on the edge of this one if we have time. We'll come back in and start to do our little hat poofta, and work on getting our support. I don't know what it is, antennae, something that helps hold that up. We'll work on that too. So, thank you guys for... You put diced bread and butter pickles on your dinner salad. Use a jalapeno lime vinaigrette, and wow, it's amazing. I always put pickles in my salad. I do the kosher dill ones. I love it. It just gives it something, but I don't do salad dressing, so I'm weird like that. I don't like salad dressing. And I don't like mayo, so I'm one of those people. But just never could do it. But that sounds amazing. Dinner, I think I'm making orange chicken with broccoli tonight over some rice. I think, if my chicken is ready to cook, but I also have to do dishes, I think, before I cook tonight. So, that's what my dinner's gonna be. I thank you guys for popping in this afternoon and hanging out with me and chatting. We've made some decent progress today. This week's stream schedule, again, Wednesday will be Bloodthirsty and Iron Man leveling. We'll be taking a look at Brewfest in-game from an iron perspective, seeing what I feel comfortable doing. And we'll probably do the Harvest Festival quest while we're there, just, you know, because we're already over there. Thursday will be more Minecraft fun. I have been working on getting some sandstone pre-cooked for that, so we don't have to stop and wait on that to cook. Now that we've worked out how we want the tower entrance design to be, I think I've worked out where I want the bridge connecting the two towers to go. It's probably going to be, I don't think it's going to be a double bridge, but it will at the very least be a single bridge. And I've also been smelting some more stone to sell to the villagers so we can get more terracotta. So Thursday will be Minecraft time. Friday will once again be Franchise Friday fun in Planet Zoo, and we'll be attempting to finish up our frog and lizard house. Hopefully I can get those iguanas off of the market. I should have bought them when I'd seen them. But, you know, maybe if we give it a little bit, they'll come back around. There will be no Wild Challenges podcast show this coming week. Lita is taking the weekend off to go deal with some personal things that need to be dealt with. And then next Sunday we'll be right back here and we'll be doing more art. Again, migraine permitting, as always, for any day that we attempt to stream. So, thank you guys. You can follow me on Twitter at NewCBGN. I usually post them about to go live there. You could subscribe here, that is free. And if you turn the notifications on here, you'll know when I go live as well. I usually archive most of the live streams over on the YouTube channel, that's NewCBGN. The YouTube channel is not yet monetized, so if you'd like to subscribe over there, that's also free. That would be awesome if we could get some more followers going over there. We're very short of followers for hitting monetization over there, so we're only at 131 of 1,000. We've got a long way to go. And then you can find me in the Wild Challenges Discord, and it's just Nisi over there. I'm the only Nisi in there. So, thanks you guys. You have a great night. Hopefully your weeks are well, and you manage to get through them without too much trouble. And until Wednesday, have a good one.